back to my channel. They call me Her, they call me Jane, but that's not my name as this is an anonymous account for now. I wasn't going to interlude here, but I feel it's necessary to address something. And you can probably tell, it's a different day. I'm actually in the middle of packing for our holiday, and I need to address some of the comments on my last video. Now, like I said, I have thought long and hard about this because I want to make it very clear that assumptions about me, my age, your opinion on whether I'm spending too much, not prioritising the debt or the right things, or whatever it is, are all valid. You can talk about in a constructive way what you think may help me, what may be better for our family, or along those lines. You know, you're not silly people, and I trust that you understand that. I love hearing personal debt stories and payoffs and experiences of how month by month things change. There will be ups, there'll be downs, there'll be times when you can't, for some reason, pay extra on your debt, all the rest of it. However, I will not accept any commentary that is in the guise of letting me know just how awful my life will be if I continue to be the way that I am. Being neurodivergent with my autism and my ADHD means that, not so many ways, scaring me into just how terrible of a life I will be leading if I don't get serious will not work. It won't work. If anything, it pushes me further away. I am doing my very best, and I have said from the beginning, not everybody is going to like how I spend my money, how I spend our money as a family, or what we prioritise. But I also, sorry, the timing of the dog trying to have a drink now. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but there you go. Thank you, puppy. The ability to come across on a comment negatively is very easy. It's much harder to come across with constructive criticism and still be kind. But I will not tolerate comments that include my children, especially ones, and I will quote here, that say, "It's all the more sad knowing you have a disabled child who might need more help when he's older." I want to let that resonate just for a second, because I'm going to start making some assumptions now, and that is that you don't have disabled children. If you do, I will fully take that assumption back. However, as a family, we deal with a lot of things outside the context of what I choose to post on YouTube. I do choose to share our journey on here, and I will continue doing so on my terms. My child needs help now. As a family, this holiday gives us respite, and it gives my child respite. Date nights give me and my partner a chance to refresh, come back and be better parents to both of my children, not just my disabled child. The reason I'm on this journey in the first place is to better our lives, but I will not have anybody use my children as a way to convince me that I should be doing this quicker, faster, with more oomph, with more seriousness, in any manner. We are doing what we can, and I want this community to be positive, not arse-licking. I'm not asking for that, but it needs to be positive, because there are many other people in the situations that cannot pay more than £100 a month towards their debt, despite what they earn, because of other things. As I've said, I don't break down my monthly spending because some of the payments we make are personal. Some of them are therapies. And my child's privacy is important to me, hence the anonymity of this account. If my content does genuinely make you sad, makes you feel like you're watching that I'm stealing from my family's future, or anything like that, I don't want any negativity on anybody. Please do leave. Please unfollow, unsubscribe, leave this realm of the internet behind and move on. Because the manner of which some of these comments are being taken aren't welcome. And I, fortunately, have the power to hide, remove, or do what I need to make this only an inclusive place, and only judging me on my decisions, not berating the life that my children will have because of the decisions that I choose to make here. If you feel like I should put £500 a month aside towards debt, you're probably right. I probably should, but I'm not choosing to, and that's the difference. It doesn't mean I'm wrong, and it doesn't mean you're right. It's an opinion, and we need to leave it there. Like I said, I'm very happy to accept constructive criticism, and in a kind manner. It doesn't mean I'm not taking it seriously if I'm not doing what you want me to do. I'm very aware of my own reality, especially that of when it comes to my own situation and my own children, and I don't particularly need to be reminded about it. I choose to share what I want to share on this platform, and I hope if you're still listening to this, that you will continue to share it with me. I appreciate every single one of you, and it makes me really sad that I've had to say this, but I want to make it clear from the very beginning that I won't tolerate any type of being made to feel bad for my own children, especially if he's disabled, particularly when there is no need to bring in that level surrounding my children. I do hope that you enjoy the video. Thank you so much if you stuck around already. I won't remove the comments because I feel like they're valid, and I do see that people have resonated with them. And again, I don't want to take that validity away because your opinions are your opinions and they are valid. Don't think that they're not. But I suggest moving forward that we draw a line here, and as a summary, we don't bring my children into this. And we certainly don't try and scare people into any form of thinking. Because you are right, tragedy can strike at any moment, including tomorrow. And there are some things I'm willing to sacrifice. And if it means paying off debt slower, because I get to watch my children be happy on holiday, or because I took them to, I don't know, a theme park, or we went on a date night so that actually mummy and daddy have some time together to be better parents, then so be it. But I'm leaving it there. Thank you if you're still here. I love you all very much. And I'll see you when I'm back from holiday. Bye-bye. Hi, how are you doing? I hope you're well. If you are watching this video, I should be on holiday, counting up all the things I'm spending to share with you when I'm back. So, excuse me. Yes, as I said, I've filmed a few videos to keep you guys hopefully entertained while I'm away. I realised I've made a mistake. Especially if you were playing the game last week. Usually you'll see that I have a list of names on this screen. Now, depending on whether or not I get to edit before I go. I'm hoping your name should appear here. If not for any reason, because I like to cover all bases, I will pin a comment with who I have chosen, and if not, then you can all shout and scream at me when I'm back. Is the best way to describe it, because I realised can't play the game if not at my laptop. Anyway, enough of that, and especially if you're new here and that's very confusing for you, I do apologise. But yes, this is where we are. Today's video, I am going to share with you how I plan to start reevaluating and reprioritising our debt and our plans for the rest of the year. So this is a little bit of a reset. It's, March, April time. We're only, a quarter of the way in, pretty much. But with everything that was gone on, we had to pay out for the dog. We, with the car failing and all of that stuff. We've now come, we'll come back from holiday and it's going to be a refresh. It's going to be a restart. It's almost like the beginning of a financial year for us personally, as well as in life. New year, it starts on the 1st of April. No, I just, but yes, I figured the plan for this video is I was kind of just going to talk through what I feel is important for us as a family and just our perspective on things, and I hope that it might help other people maybe. And I completely understand that not everyone is going to agree with what we prioritise, but this is our life and it's our family, and I hope, like I said a few videos ago, that we pay off. We're below 60,000, I think we're sat somewhere near, what were we? Does anybody remember? 67, what was that? Let me see. It was, look at my filing system, it's so technical. £67,828.02. I've forgotten already. What did I just say? 67,800. 67. Yeah, 67,800 plus. That gives us 9 months to pay off, £8,000 basically. We'll do our best. We will see. Even like I've said before, if we are at 59999 on December 31st, I will be over the moon. Over the moon. So yes, this is where we're at. So in order to get there, we need to reevaluate our priorities. I've just realised I haven't got a pen. Bear with, let me get a pen. Ha, here's my pen. So let's name this priorities. Priorities. There we go. Little underline here. So, like I said, this probably isn't going to be to everybody's taste, but I feel it's important to share. And I hope you enjoy this video, because it's obviously not my usual content, but again, like I said, I think it's important to share. And if you have any questions in the comments, maybe about why I've chosen these particular things, and it's not in order, by the way, like, just because something is at number 1 doesn't mean it's the most important. I haven't quite worked that bit out yet. But yes, just let me know. Like I said, I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. But let's get stuck into it before I ramble on any longer. So, priorities, as I hope you've learnt with me along the way, that an emergency fund is paramount, really. After our few disasters in February, March, we've learned a lot of lessons, and I think to start creating an emergency fund is the way to go. Now, I don't believe that we're going to have the capacity to throw everything into the emergency fund before we then carry on paying debt. There's a reason for that, which you'll find out further down the line. So I am not going to throw everything at the emergency fund. I'm playing a bit of roulette, I suppose, in that I hope that because two things have gone wrong quite close together, that we won't have another emergency for a while. Touch wood, all of the good luck, please. That, yeah, I'm taking a bit of a risk by not ploughing everything into that emergency fund, but there's reason for it, and I will explain why. So, other priority is obviously paying debt. However, I think for us, we need to concentrate on one or two at a time, and the rest, we're just making minimum payments and we are just ignoring it almost to an extent until we reach, until we've paid that one off, move on to the next one. So for me, the one that's most prevalent is the Very account, because that's on a timeline of the buy now, pay later, and we need to make sure that it's covered before we get hit. I think it's literally like 50.9% interest if you don't repay it within the time frame, which is insane. However, we have had some family things going on, and you may have noticed that I owe family some money. I think it was £2,750 that's owed to them. Before, this was a, pay me back when you can scenario, and, don't worry about it too much, but, obviously pay a bit a month, or, a bit every couple of months, and it'll be paid. Their circumstances have now changed quite dramatically, and we need to pay this as soon as possible, which, of course, we absolutely will, and that's now been massively bumped up the priorities list. And this is genuinely a case of, it's massively going to affect the person's life if it's not paid sooner rather than later. So that's now been bumped up the list of priorities for us, which isn't ideal for us. Of course it's not, when we've got other bills we need to pay, but family is the most important and always will be. And things in life change, and this does mean that that's going to take us longer to pay things off overall. But I will say here and now, so be it. So be it. And it's just one of those things. So that's where we are with that one. The next one that is a priority, I'm sure you'll all understand, is the car MOT and service. When we are coming back from holiday, have said that we're going to work out a larger amount each month to put aside for this, because it cost us over £1,000 to get the car fixed. And I would rather have the money there, and then after each MOT service, we can take the money back out or leave it in there, roll it over, whatever we need to do. But somebody in the comments, do let me know who you are, had a really good idea of actually doing the MOT and the service like 6 months apart rather than together to save the cost. And I was like, why? That's such a genius idea. Why have I not thought of that before? So I haven't yet spoke to my partner about it. Like I said, I actually don't drive, but because it's a family car, like we put all our bills together. Trust me, we live in quite, not a remote place, but buses are hard to come by, and I would not leave the house without him. So I'm more than happy for it to be a joint thing. So that is absolutely at the top of the list as well, as a need rather than a want. Like it has to be working and fully functional. He can't get to work otherwise. We can't leave where we live to get to the the local Tesco's if we need to otherwise. So it's absolutely vital. So next one, and again, because of recent events, is our dog fund, or to us, she is Puppy and always will be, but for the purposes of this video, dog fund. She, bless her, is so much better now. Her snout, I believe, the vet said, is fully on the mend. Like, it's always going to be a bit weaker now, but she is too excited to go and spend time with family while we're away. Unfortunately, we can't take her with her this time. I take her with us this time. Usually she comes away with us, but she's going to spend nearly 3 glorious weeks being absolutely spoilt between my mum, my grandmother, my auntie, a friend of ours. She's probably going to come back like 3 sizes bigger than when we left her, bless her. But she deserves it. She's going to have the best time. And yeah, this fund is going to include her annual booster and injections. But I also want a little emergency fund for stuff like this. If she needs an x-ray, if, you know, anything like that, I want that built up as well, alongside her maintenance. So her coat is she's a mixed breed. She's a bit of a mongrel, really, if I'm honest. She's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but she's, yeah, a mix of all sorts of things. And so her coat is really thick, and it's also very difficult to brush, and it can get unmanageable quite quickly. And I get people like, you know, you can do it yourself. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried. And bless her, like, it just doesn't work. Like, it needs a professional to do it. And it is a cost that I'm happy to incur as a dog owner. I only want the best for her. We chose that when we had a pet. And so for us, that's a priority, that she goes to the groomers and she's well looked after. And to me, dogs are the absolute blessing on this earth. They will love you regardless. They're the most unjudgmental creatures. And I will gush all day long about my dog, so let's move on. But yes, she is definitely a priority up there. Number 6 is the kids. Like I said, this is absolutely not in any type of order. But for me, they're paramount. You know, it's absolutely, of course, they're a priority. And I mean, this as will cover uniform, clothing, shoes, anything for school, anything else they might need. Like I said, my eldest does have therapies that we pay for, which are quite expensive, but I've never really included that into sinking funds because I just see it as a bill, but that's a whole other argument. But also, alongside this, I want there to be a family fund. And I don't know whether this will also include lots of other things, but I want this to be a family time fund. Now, this isn't I'm going to spend £200-300 going away for the weekend. This is a, like, let's go to the park today, and you know what, on the way back, let's go to Greggs and get a cookie or a sausage roll. And, you know, really small things, but stuff that's going to help just make it a bit more special, a bit more, you know, exciting. My kids adore the gingerbread men from Greggs. So that money's got to come from somewhere. Yes, it's only a few pounds, but if I know I've got a pot of money, then that's where it's going to come from. The other one, alongside this, which is why I don't know whether to merge all of this, is health. Now, a bit of an update on this for you. Because I've been at my workplace for so long, they've now offered some level of private healthcare, and it also does include my partner and my children. And so it works out that my contribution a month is £4 a month that's taken just out of my tax. So it's treated as a tax, really. And I've absolutely agreed to it, because I feel like for £4, that's ridiculous not to. And so they're covering a hefty part of that, like into the hundreds, which is obviously absolutely incredible. But I want this health fund for things like the dentist, for any prescriptions. Like, I've been really poorly recently, and honestly, the amount I've spent on Lemsip and ibuprofen's pennies, but even so, it's got to come out of a pot somewhere. And I just feel like even the kids, like, if they need Calpol or, you know, a saline spray or anything, like saline spray has honestly saved me from this cold, so just a quick tip for you there as well. But yes, health. And I think the only other one off the top of my head as an absolute priority is oh no, it's 2, sorry, I'm at 9, is the kids' birthdays and Christmas. that there, those 10 are my priorities. And like I said, the kids' birthdays, we don't go extravagant. We don't, like, we want to do a joint party for them this year where they're like a bit older, their birthday's very close together, and for us that makes more sense. So money still needs to go towards that. They're still very little and they don't need lots and lots of things, but of course it's still their birthday, we want to get them a few things. And then Christmas, I won't lie to you, Christmas in our house from after bonfire night until the end of December, it's a party in our family. Like, it is, everyone's joyous. We're going to go walk around, look at everybody's Christmas lights. We are going to see Father Christmas. We are doing all the wonderful things that we can do. We're drawing pictures of reindeer. We're watching Christmas films. We are having hot chocolate, and we are, you know, making our own mulled wine. It's a vibe, and I refuse, point blank refuse, to give up any of that. It is very special to us as a family, and that's not just my family, that's my partner's family and extended family. It's a huge holiday for us, and it does come at an expense, but I'm willing to budget for that expense. This year, actually, I'm not sure if I'm hosting. Again, this we already talked about this in March. Like, this is how big it is in our family. On the grapevine, I've done it for the last 3 years, just because we have a slightly bigger house to fit everybody in. But, you know, other people are starting to want to host, and I am at the point where I'm ready to be hosted. So, yes, these are the priorities for now. Let me know what you think, because, I mean, like I said, let's do a quick rundown, actually, while I'm here. So, emergency fund, I want to get to £1,000 minimum. This very account, I can't remember. Was it 2? Let's have a look. What was it, Saturday? 2 5 4 1. I'd like £1,000. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's put that there. I reckon at least £200 sitting in the pot. Sorry, I just had a really horrible cough. Ugh. The kids, I want is like a rolling fund. Again with family, again with health. Like, I just want it to be topped up each month. Kids' birthdays. Christmas, I'd like 1,000. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Kids' birthdays. Sorry, my voice is really gone. Kids' birthdays, we tend to do like £100, £150 each, and that includes any presents, their cake, decorations, and something that we do on the day. That's their budget for the day. So it's like, what, £300 there. It's probably going to be more because of the party, of the barbecue / garden party we want to do. I'm not sure if this is doable. This is just off the top of my head at the moment, and as we go through the next couple of weeks, I think we'll work out what's manageable. I just wanted to share with you that, like, we have really cut down here, you know, our priorities, and I think in my next video I'm going to readjust the binders. I'm going to really think about how I can make this work, as well as it be relatable and show you the real ups and downs of us being able to meet these targets. Or, hang on a second. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I've forgotten what I was saying, but yes, we'll cover the ups and downs. We'll work it out as we go along to see what will work for us. I still have a few things planned, like my friend's hen do will be when we come back, which actually out of my personal money this month I have paid towards. There's just a little bit left that will come out of my next pay to pay for our afternoon tea, which will work out as fine. And then in May I'm going to see my friend like I said, and that will come out of my next pay too. So I'm not going to worry about that yet. It's not a priority, but those things are booked, and I am not going to not see my friends or spend time out with my friends. I'm just going to absolutely rein it in and do the bare minimum. And, you know, we will both still make time for socialising. It's a priority to us, but it's not within this. I'm not going to forego one of these things in order to go out anymore. Like, we did that, you know, in the past, and it's not something we can do now. So that's where we're at. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I cannot explain the love I have for you all. It may seem not much to you, but it really does give me some sort of comfort to feel like I'm not alone in this journey, and that actually there are others out there in the same position. There are other people out there that have gone through this, that actually by the enormous amount of debt I'm in, it might make someone with lesser debt feel a little tiny bit better. Just thank you. Like, I don't think I can ever thank you enough. And I really appreciate you sticking around while I'm away. And I know these videos aren't what you expect, and if you're not enjoying them, I'm really, really sorry. I just wanted something out for you while I'm not here, but also to just really break down what it is that we're doing to restart ourselves and get our priorities straight again. So thank you ever so much. Like I've said, if you're still around and would like to join in with a game, I've learnt my lesson, and it may be that if you join in when I'm back, I'm gonna do a overview of all the comments that I've chosen. It might be an IOU for a shout out, but if you would like to play the game, then please leave me a little sunshine emoji, because fingers crossed, while you're watching this, I am sat in some sort of deck chair with a lovely glass of wine, with a little tiny bit of sunshine looking over at the sea. So pray for me that it's not raining. And until next time, take care, look after yourself first, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.